Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm so sorry I've not been around for a while, like I've not been able to post videos for a few weeks now. In fact, last month has been very tight for me. I had a lot of activities to cover. I also had medical emergencies, you understand. So last month was so tight for me. And I also want to say thank you to those few people that reached out to me. Thank you. You don't know, it means a lot to me. I got some calls and people were like asking how you came, what's up, no videos, hope you're okay, hope you're fine. Thank you so much. Thanks for encouraging me. Thank you. I appreciate. So back to today's video. So today's video is for one, if you're getting those that are getting married, about to wed, if you're in a serious relationship, or you're new in a relationship. I also think this is something you should consider, on your journey. It's you planning your marriage and not just your wedding. Yes, before you tie the knot, you should plan for your marriage and not just your wedding. I'm not saying you shouldn't have your dream wedding. I understand your wedding is supposed to be a day you shouldn't forget for the rest of your life, and so on and so forth. I get it. But don't forget, it's just a day. Like, it's just one day. Why the marriage itself is for the rest of your life. You understand? Committing yourself to somebody, to someone for the rest of your life, not be being so. It's not it's a serious business. You understand? So you should focus more on your marriage. Like I said, I didn't say don't plan for your wedding or don't have your dream wedding. You should. But as you're planning your wedding, I know people, they plan 12 months ahead of their dates. You understand? But the marriage itself, they just feel, oh, it's going to be all roses, it's going to be, we love each other, and so on and so forth. There won't be issues, there won't be any issues, because we are so in love and everything is just fine, and good. So I don't think you should see it that way. There's more to marriage than I love you, I love you. Yes, marriage is a wonderful thing, but it also has its challenges, right? So how do you plan for a marriage and not just a wedding? It's by asking questions. You understand? You and your partner, you have to get to know each other better. You have to ask questions to know what you both want out of life. So here are some key questions to discuss so that you are actually planning for a marriage. Yourself and your partner, you need to ask yourself these questions before you get married. One, dealing with the unexpected. What do I mean by dealing with the unexpected? Yes, unforeseen circumstance, unforeseen occurrence. You need to know how you deal with this when it comes. Example, loss of job or loss of income, sickness, name it, and so on. These are not what you plan for. You understand? Things can happen along the line, in your marriage. How do you overcome this together as a couple? How do you deal with it? How do you deal with unexpected circumstance, unexpected situations? These are what you have to talk about. You understand? Then number two, falling out of love. Yes, couples do fall out of love. You may always love each other, but there are days you will not be in love with yourself. So what do you do when you fall out of love? How do you rekindle your romance back? How do you do that? Will you be committed to each other even when you feel, oh, I'm not feeling that love connection? How do you still stay committed to one another? Do you understand? How do you bring back romance in your marriage when you find yourself in that in that situation? What do you do? I know this is not this isn't the most romantic thoughts like anybody think about. This is not romantic thoughts in the world. Oh, like, oh, we fall out of love. It's not possible because we got married. Before we got married, we love each other and all that. But I'm telling you, there are days, like I said, you always love each other, but there are days or there are moments when you and not in love. Like you how will I say, there are days when you may not be in love. So what do you do? What do you do? How do you bring back that romance? Do you still stay committed to each other when you fall out of love? These are questions you also have to ask yourself. You have to, you have to be prepared for it. Number 3, create a plan. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You understand? Being able to dream together is one of the greatest gifts of marriage. You understand? The process of future planning, it has a way of bringing out each other's value. Do you understand? So that is it. Number 4, you also have to talk about kids. Yes, you have to talk about kids. Do you want to have kids? Are you willing to have kids? Some people don't want to have kids. I've had cases where someone will say, no, I don't want. Some like, I know someone that said, I don't like kids. I can't be around them. Do you understand? So it's a conversation. These are practical discussions you should be having, before entering a marriage. You ask yourself, you ask your partner, do you want to have kids? If yes, how many? Is it are we just having 1 or 2? Sometimes when I hear people say, oh, they don't want to have kids, those days I was like, oh, can somebody be so selfish? Or you just think about is yourself? But no, I don't see that anymore, because somebody needs to be mentally and financially, ready to start having kids. So you have to have these conversations. How many kids do you want to have? When should we start having kids? Is it as soon as we get married, or we should wait for a few years, few months? You should have these conversations. And when the kids start coming, how are we going to raise them? Are we both going to be doing 9 to 5? You have to have this conversation. You have to prepare yourself. You're not just preparing yourself, you're also preparing for the kids. You should have this conversation as well. So number 5, yes, you talk about your finances. It's very important you talk about your finances. This will save you a lot of future headaches. When you discuss spending habits, it's going to save you a lot of future headache. When you discuss spending habits, talk about your finances. And your spending habits, you have to discuss about it. You have to live within your means. You have to try and save for rainy days. You spend less than what you earn, so you can save for rainy days. You try and avoid debt as much as possible. Just try and avoid it. These are conversations you should be having, before you get married. And also, I think number 6, you should also talk about boundaries. Yes, you have to set boundaries. Family, friends, colleagues, there should be boundaries. You guys need to discuss about it. In-laws, you just have to set your boundaries. Like, this is it, in my house, in my home. This is how it's going to work in our home. Do you understand? So, and number 7, last but not the least, is you have to, I think it's advisable you should attend a premarital class. Yes, before you get married. Premarital class, it's good you attend a premarital class before you get married. You need a well-trained, seasoned couple, that will provide you a sounding board where you and your partner, you could explore, explore your questions in a safe place. You need a trained person to guide you through this path. You understand? Some churches, you can register in your church. In fact, some churches it's compulsory, before they wed you in a church. And if you're doing the what do they call it, the civil wedding, just a civil wedding or the traditional wedding, you can have you can go for a paid service, but please attend a premarital class before you get married. There's some books you can also read. In fact, myself and my husband, there are books we started reading 3 years even before we got married about marriage itself. You understand? You get yourself these books. You need to prepare. Marriage is not just I love you, it's work. It's a lot of work, you know. So as you prepare for every other thing in your life, your career and all that, you know how you read, you pass for your exams, you read for to get your masters and your PhD and so on. That is how you should also prepare for your marriage. So guys, that's it. Please don't forget to, you know, to put efforts on your marriage. You understand? You have to plan ahead. As you're planning for your wedding, you're also planning for your marriage. You know, your wedding is a show, but your wedding is a show. Yes, I'll call it a show. Your wedding is a show, but your marriage is the real story. Is the real story. So don't forget to also plan for it. All right guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, you know the drill now. Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe. Right, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.